He messed me up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I'm sorry I don't have a song today. Um, Let me know if you can hear me, if I'm clear. Today we have our final political candidate, Mr. Nathan Steingard, who is the current town councilman. We're going to bring Nathan in now. Hi, Nathan.
Hey, Monkey, how you doing?
Good. Welcome to Tea Time. I'm sorry I was all out of sorts, so it's like it's pretty crazy, but it's for a great
You're not
reason.
as out of sorts as I am, but thank
Yeah.
you for having me, and
Thank
thank
you
you for
for
this
being on.
platform. Yeah, thank you for this platform. You know, we lack communication in the town, and any opportunity to get out there and go have a talk about what we do is just a great thing, and we appreciate it.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I mean, I when I asked you to be on, I wasn't quite sure. Well, when I asked everybody to be on, I didn't know how it was going to go. Like I keep saying, I just want to stress to everybody that I invited everybody. I invited everybody just to give you everybody a platform, and basically for me to have a conversation with you as people running for office or that are in office to get an idea, what's going on. And for everybody out there, I just want to let you know Nathan is in his car. He could have canceled, but he didn't cancel. So I just want to put that out there. Okay, so people are like, well, why is he in his car? You're in your car because you're in your car. I know why you're in your car, and that's all that matters. Okay, and I appreciate you. Okay, so just want to put that out there. Now,
Well, thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Absolutely. Tell the people a little bit about what the town council does, because I had asked you this. I don't know.
All right. So the best way I would describe it is the town is essentially a business. The easiest way to look at it, and the customers of the business are the people that live in the town. And we have many departments. There's everything from dealing with employees to purchasing. That's the best analogy I can make. So we're like a board run corporation.
Okay,
so
I'm just sharing.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm just sharing because, like I said, I'm a little behind, so I am paying attention. Just so you know.
Okay. So we have department heads that are hired or apply for jobs, and they're those decisions are made who the department heads are by the town board, and ultimately that's how the town runs, from the parks department to the police department, highway department.
Yes.
So that's the best way to describe it.
And it says your current position is that you're the liaison to Parks and Recreation, the Parks and Recreation, that's my thing. The Fire and Safety, Golf and Police Commissioner. That's
Correct.
what you're the liaison. So what exactly, as a liaison, what do you do as far as like Parks and Recreation and different things like that?
So it's changed a little bit in the last few years, but mostly you're meeting with those department heads, and certain parks, they have a parks commission, which is made up of volunteers that meet with the parks and make decisions based on the parks. The golf course, up until recently, the golf commission that would do the same. They would meet with department heads in that department, come up with policy. Ultimately, it's the town board that makes the final decision, but it's people that are interested in those departments, that are qualified, that are willing to donate their time. It's how it works. Police department's a little bit different. There's that's, even though it alternates every 2 years. So there's a supervisor and there's 4 councilmen. Every 2 years, it switches who's on that commission. But with the police department is kind of unique because any real decisions that are made kind of as a group. And we would meet with the chief and decisions.
Okay. Now, with the Parks and Recreation Department, like what exactly, like, did you make any decisions what's going on with them? Because like we know this year there was no summer recreation program. You know, and there's not.
So yes, so and that also, to be honest, that's really we discuss that in our board meetings,
Okay.
And that's really, we decide that as a group as well. With COVID, it was very tough. So the state had placed restrictions on how many kids. Now, a few years ago, the town would always run the camp, and in the last few years, we had the Boys and Girls Club on the camp for us, and the town would subsidize it, but ultimately they ran the camp and they were able to do a better job. With the limitations that we had with COVID, on how many kids we could accept, we were cut down to basically 20 to 30% of what we would normally have, and we just decided, one, for safety reasons, it didn't make sense, and two, when, how are we going to decide which kids are going to allow to come and which kids we weren't? And we talked, and we knew it was such an important program for the community. We had such success with it. It was a very tough decision. But ultimately, with the restrictions and the uncertainty with what was going to happen with COVID, we just didn't feel that it was prudent, and we didn't feel like we could operate it safely. So, I'm hoping that it comes back next year. It's something that's important to all of us, but we just were not able to pull it off this year.
Okay, now let me ask you, because COVID, which I understand because I don't like crowds, but when the kids, they had really nothing. Like my granddaughter went to the camp in Liberty, right? She doesn't go to Fallsburg, but she went to the camp at Hannafee Park, and you look at the summer camps, which were packed. I mean, like packed to the hill with kids, right? I'm sure like some of the kids felt a certain kind of way, like even though you guys were being safe, and I totally get it, I get the safety, but you look at the summer camps and you saw all the kids and the people, like how do you make that make sense to them, to the parents,
So your audio is picking up. I think I heard you say that the parks were so big with kids anyway. Is that what you were saying?
No, wait, what happened? Wait, you know what?
Wait. Your audio is breaking a little bit at the beginning. I didn't hear.
I said, okay.
I heard the end of it.
Okay, with the great. Julie, can you hear me? Because I know
I
it's
hear you
kind of
very well now, yeah.
Okay, all right. So what I was saying was I totally get why the camps were, summer rec was closed because of COVID. I'm not a group people. Okay, but how do you make it make sense to the parents who were trying to work and things this summer, who some had to pay for day camps, and you have all the summer kids that were up here and those camps were exploding at the seams?
So, for one, the responsibility of the camp that the town runs falls on us. We're given very specific regulations by the state, and the private camps are not so much under our control. And it was a little bit of a controversial issue, more so last year than this year, because the town fought very hard to not allow the camps to open, all of the camps, and ultimately, it was not a decision that was ours to make.
Right, it's not the town. Yeah, that came up from the governor.
The governor, we were very concerned. As a matter of fact, our board had many discussions with the governor's office about, our concerns about our community, and allowing these camps to open. And they made the decisions that they made, and we were not part of it. But when we had the responsibility of opening, operating our own camp, and our discussions with the Boys and Girls Club, the amount of kids that we were allowed to have, the structure of the park, where the kids would be, how would we get them in safely, how would we get them, it just was, we felt, and we deliberated a lot, and it was something that we know a lot of these kids, if they're not in our camp, not only do they have parents at work and they have to find means to have their kids, being watched so they can go to work, it's, especially with them not being in school in a
Right.
sense last year, we knew the importance of our camp, and it was a discussion that lasted months, and we were waiting and waiting, hoping that, the condition of COVID would get better where we felt we could do it, and we had to pull the plug. We just couldn't pull the plug. But it was not something we took lightly, and it was upsetting for all of us.
Okay. Now, you've been in position since 2007?
Correct, yes.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. I don't like anything about it. But now, after these few segments, right, after talking with some of you guys, I get it. It's a job, it's a management or whatever. But what makes you want to do it? Because you get criticized for what you do and what you don't do. You go in and you make these promises. It's really ugly. It's really, really.
I don't view it that way. You're right. I lived in the town my whole life. I'm in Fallsburg, right next to the town hall, block away. I'm fortunate that I'm able to be at the town hall a lot. I love the town. I love growing up in Fallsburg. I think, a lot of your viewers know we were in the same clan.
I loved it when I was growing up. I did.
Excuse me 1 second.
I meant to tell you to get some water. Talking that, I meant to tell you that.
Ooh, sorry.
It's okay.
So, I love our town. Losing my voice here. So it's something that's the aggravation is worth it for me, and there's not too much in life that's worthwhile that doesn't come with hard work and some negatives. So
right.
I think that over the years, you look at some other towns around us and some of the controversies that their boards have had. You look at what's going on in the county now with their board and some of the fights that you see online. And one thing I could say, since I've been on the board and all this time, we've always had a level of respect. We might not all agree. I came from a house, my father was always a Republican, my mother was always a Democrat. It was always, in my home, politics is something you could discuss. Might not agree with the other person you're having that discussion with, but you always had a mutual respect, and I think that's how we've always conducted ourselves, and I truly like everybody I work with. So it makes it a little easier, and we face criticism, and to be honest, one reason why I appreciate your show so much is so much of the criticism is misunderstood. There's certain things we're able to do in the town, and there's certain things we're not. And so many of the people that are unhappy really don't know. And it's a little frustrating in one respect because nobody comes to our meetings, or not many people come to our meetings unless there's a major issue and people are personally involved with that issue. But if not, and it's a little frustrating because come down, sit down and talk to us. If something's bothering you, come down and talk to us. But I think our group is a very hard-working group. I think we all love the town. We all do our best. Like something simple, like roads are always an issue. People, why the roads not in better shape? Well, the town of Fallsburg has 190 miles of road that we're responsible for plowing and paving. And our budget, which is around $1 million for our highway department budget, we're only able to pave maybe 6 or 7 miles of those roads a year. And with our winters and we should pave 30 or 40 miles of the road, but we get by, and our employees are hardworking and we make it work. So it's very easy to complain, but when you know the facts and you know what you're dealing with, I think we do a really good job, and I'm proud of the people I work with, and I'm proud of the job we do.
So $1 million only gets like 6 roads. So
that's the highway budget. Paving is part of that, and we get what's called CHIPS money, which is some government assistance with paving. But we typically pave, and there's other process we do too. We do chip sealing, but I'm talking about actual paving. So so there's a lot to it. and that goes across the board with every department. You know, we're limited with our resources. Our taxes are fairly high. We certainly don't want to raise them. I'm proud of the fact that last year we had a 0% tax increase, and we're fighting hard for the same this year. But, you know, we're limited with our resources, and I think we do a pretty darn good job with what we have.
Okay. Because I admit, that's one thing you're going to get from me is honesty. I admit I was one of those people that complained and had no clue. Because you know why? I didn't go to meetings. I think I went to one meeting, and that was at the very end of the meeting because I had a problem. But now I know that the meetings are on Mondays at 6 p.m., which most meetings aren't. They're at like 9 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m. when people are working. But you guys is at 6 p.m. when most of us are off of work, and there's no excuse.
That's by design. That's exactly why we do it. And it's always been that way. When I first got on the board, they were Tuesday evenings. We switched them to Monday evenings, but they were always at night. And it was only because we wanted the community to be involved. And one positive thing, if you can say anything positive about COVID, is it got us to stream our meetings as well. So if you're not able to attend, and now we're meeting in person again, but if you're not able to attend, you could go on Zoom, you could ask a question, you could have a back and forth discussion, and it enables people that even are not able to get to our meetings to have input and to be involved. And you know, and that's what we need to be successful as a town. We need community involvement.
Are you guys still going to, even though it's back in person, are you still going to have the Zoom for people that, you know, are home? Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Okay, but that's a good thing. I mean, like, I'm going to start coming when I don't have, just to know. I just want to know what's going on because I realize I can't complain if I'm not involved. If I'm not involved, I can't complain if I don't know what's going on. And I honestly had no clue, you know. That's why the conversations, you know.
Right.
Yep. Okay, so now let me ask you, because something, I mean, I don't want to be involved. I just want to hear. That's all. I'm just there to listen and take notes, you know. So if I do have a complaint, I know I can come to you guys. And if you don't answer, I can bother you until you answer, because I'll have facts behind it, which is very important. Because I was one of those people that was complaining and didn't have a clue. I didn't go to meetings or anything, which is very, very important. I'm learning, you know.
And if I don't have the answer, I'll find the answer, you know.
Right.
I don't have all the answers, but I
Now, I had asked you, I was going to talk about this after. I just found out about it today, because when I get tagged in things, it doesn't automatically go to my page. I was just looking, and I saw this thing, the downtown revitalization grant. Now, did you guys know about that?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So did you apply for it?
We did not. So we apply for many different grants. We hire professional grant writers to help us with the process. That's what they do. Different grants. We were advised that first of all, the expense and what it would take to apply for that grant was substantial, tens of thousands of dollars.
To apply for the grant?
For all of the research. So that particular grant was a grant that required participation by all of the business owners. We were advised that it really was made to cater to larger municipalities, larger downtowns. As a matter of fact, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the city of Middletown applied for that grant. It was more, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly sure. And it was designed more for that type of a city or town. And we were advised that the likelihood of us winning the grant was minimal. But there are many other grants that we do apply for. That just wasn't one.
But would it hurt to try, though? Because according to this, it would hurt.
I mean, it would have cost, you know, the town probably $30,000 or $40,000 a lot of time.
Forget that. Right, yeah.
And our professionals were saying, you're not going to get it. So.
Yeah, but you know, they're not always right. 30,000 is a lot But I look at
But
Monticello,
listen, yeah, I'm sorry.
and I don't know if that's what Monticello had, but it's like this grant is for beautification of the downtown neighborhood, which it does make it more appealing to people that come, because honestly, now Fallsburg is such an eyesore. I'm sorry, and I'm a comic. I am a comic. But I'm just saying, I drive through the town and I get depressed. It's
So,
depressing.
Fallsburg could use a little help. There's no question about it. I'm
Right.
hopeful that we're going to be successful. You know, hamlets like Hurleyville, hamlets like Mountaindale, which years ago were in the same shape as Fallsburg, have turned around.
Yeah, they were. Right.
I lived in every part of the town. I grew up in South Fallsburg. Businesses in South Fallsburg. After college, I moved to Davos and lived in Woodridge. And then when we got married 25 years, we bought a house in Woodridge, and we recently moved to Mountaindale. So I've been in every part of the town, and I'm hopeful that we will one day have the same success, as other parts of the town. But I'm just happy that at least some parts of the town are changing. It's a very unique. You grew up in Fallsburg, it was so different when we were kids. We had hotels, we had different things in the town. For whatever reason, things changed, and we have a lot of unique situations that we have to work hard and do our best to work with what we have,
Yeah. But the sad thing is, it just looks like there's it just seems like everyone isn't getting the best of Fallsburg, put it like that. Because I remember growing up in Fallsburg, we had little things like I had mentioned to, I don't know if it was Steve, I had mentioned to someone about the ski program that we had here in Davos. We had the ski.
Incredible.
Remember they were the bus? Yeah, we have that.
Wednesday night, right? Wednesday night or Thursday night, all the kids from Fallsburg could go there, get ski equipment, and ski. I mean, opportunities like that's why we're so lucky, And we try to do that now to some degree. Like I know golf, the golf course. So
which is a problem. It seems like for everybody. Everybody
right, so
seems to have yeah.
We have a golf program where we have a kids camp for golf. That's it's basically free, or we don't turn anybody away for the most part. It's very inexpensive, if not free. And we have lessons. I think it was 8-week program where the pros would pretty much donate their time and teach young kids how to play golf. And it was a very successful program. So it's different. Unfortunately, we don't always have the best working relationship with the school. That program was a school-run program that the school supported.
Right.
We had buses from the school, and we don't have Davos anymore.
Right.
But there's other programs in the town, and we try to do as much as we can, because what's more important to our town than the kids.
Now, but how do they know about this? Because everybody, I'm one of them. And when I say everybody, I'm putting myself out there also. Everybody doesn't go to the town website. I don't go to the town website. So how would people know about these little things that are beneficial for the kids?
We publicize it through the website.
Right, because everybody doesn't go.
So, Bumpy, that's a perfect example right there. That's a perfect example why people need to come to the meetings. Right there, we might lack in that area. Maybe we need to do more to publicize the things that we do, and that's a feedback that could be really helpful and constructive to help us do a better job.
Okay, because it's too much. Going to the website, you're like trying to figure out where you're going. I'm like, I don't have time for all of that, But I think this golf thing is good for kids that don't or think they might not like golf. Because like I was telling you, for those that think me and Nathan converse all the time, we don't. We had one conversation. But
we hung out at our reunion.
Yeah, I have pictures. But
I know.
But we two of my sons are avid golf players. and I would have never guessed them. I mean, they were basketball, baseball, soccer players, like,
Right.
and they love golf now. They're older, so they still think they can play, but whatever. But these type of things are important to know, that there has to be a way. Yes, coming to the meetings is a way that the community can know what's going on, because they don't know. They'll just sit back
Right.
and be like me,
And golf was one. I mean, the town had a few things that during COVID get out of the house and did it safely. Our rail trails were never, were so busy, and people were able to enjoy the outdoors. And our golf courses, we had to do different things to make it safe, like one person only per cart. We had to come up with ways to sanitize the carts. Normally you would take the flag stick out of the hole when you would putt, and everything was no touching. So the flag stick would stay in. You couldn't touch anything. You had to wear a mask in the clubhouse. The clubhouse food concession was pretty much closed, but the golf course was open. So, you were able to get out and enjoy nature and socialize and do it safely. So.
Now, what about other community building things for the kids? Like, I remember growing up, they used to have like little carnivals and little town fairs, and they don't have those type of things anymore. Like, we used to have the Brian Ingberg Park. We don't have that anymore. I mean, it's still the town, but really, who wants to go? I mean, there's no grass really there. It's a mess.
So that is something that we are working right now to move. We're hoping in the very near future to move that park, create more parking, because that parking lot, that back of where my business is, so I'm very familiar. Right. And when we were kids, there was one car parked back there or two cars parked there. Right. Businesses like mine, I have a few employees. My employees would park there, but there weren't retail businesses that were using the parking lot. So the park could work there. Now we have a lot of retail businesses that have a lot of customers, and we have a lot of parking, and it's not the best setup, and we're concerned with the safety of the kids and the condition of the park. So we're trying, and it's important to us. We know we need to keep this park in town where kids can walk.
Right, so, and that's the thing. They have to be able to get to it.
They have to get there. So we are planning to move the park to another part of the town and expand it, and make that park additional parking to alleviate some of the congestion in there as well.
Okay, because I mean, I have been. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's something I'm hoping is going to happen this year.
Okay, now the youth, I guess it's the youth senior center building. What is being done for our seniors? Because Fallsburg is aging out. There are a lot of seniors in the town.
So my mom, who's 90, and now lives since COVID, lives with my family in our home. Unfortunately, COVID, because they're so susceptible to all of the programs are pretty much stopped, dead in their tracks.
Right.
So that building is used now. That's where we have our meetings, because it's a bigger space at Town Hall to have some separation. But right now, for the last year and a half, there's really no senior programs, very little. Right.
Now, I remember way back when you froze. You hit a dead spot. The old high school.
You're better.
The old high school, the old school, which is now, I'm trying to be careful with what I say, but not really, because I've been accused of being anti-Semitic. But you know what? With some research, and everybody that knows me know that is so not the case. But these people on that view this page and they have an agenda. I learned, and I'm not even a politician, that they will come at you and try to demean and try to make you out to be something that you're not. And at first I took it personal, but now I'm like, I know what you're about. So, so I'm like being careful. But that building that now is deplorable. It used to be a bingo hall. because I used to play bingo there.
Right.
You know, so
before we even talk about the building, let's talk about our history a little bit. So I'm Jewish, right?
Yes, you are. My granddaughter's Jewish, but I'm anti-Semitic.
So, and my wife is observant. My kids went to Jewish schools, so Judaism is something that's very important to me. I'm very involved with our shul in Fallsburg. Mm-hmm. One of the most beautiful things that I can say about our childhood is that our school, our class, was a family. It didn't matter what your color was. It didn't matter if you had money. It didn't matter what your religion was. It didn't matter what your sexual preference was. I didn't know what prejudice was. I loved everyone. I know you loved everyone. You know, summers are tough for me as well. Not because we have a lot of Orthodox Jews move into our town, because we're used to a lifestyle where we don't have traffic, where we don't have congestion.
Right there, exactly.
Right. So, you know, it's not an anti-Semitism thing.
Right.
And you have to always be careful what you say, because people are sensitive. You know, people are very sensitive of all religions and races. You know, we all had it rough. You know, Jews had it rough.
Yes.
And you know, we all had it rough. So people are sensitive, but I know you're not prejudiced. I know you're not anti-Semitic. We've known each other our whole lives. So
yes.
As far as that building is bought by a medical organization called Refuah.
Right.
They had plans to renovate the building. Unfortunately, the building, because of the expense of asbestos removal and many other things, they have not been able to do it yet. But let me tell you, that organization, Refuah, that serves our entire community, and I'm not
I got a
talking
COVID
about the
test
Orthodox.
there. No, they serve everyone.
They serve everyone, and the majority of the people, and I shouldn't say that, but many of the people they serve are not Jewish. They diagnosed my whole family, including my mom, who's 90. We got COVID. It was through our house. They diagnosed my mom very early on and saved her life, because they gave her monoclonal antibody treatment, which was, I don't know that anybody else in our community at the time was doing that, and they saved her life. So it's a great organization. The town is trying to work with them to establish a more permanent structure. I don't know if it's going to be that building. You know, that building hasn't had now for I don't even know how long, but it's even though it's brick and it looks structurally sound, I don't know that it's repairable. So
it was an ARC. ARC had owned it at one point. It went through a lot of different owners.
Even when we were kids, my father went to high school there.
Really?
But my father went to high school there, but it's been sitting and deteriorating for a long time.
Right.
And I know that their initial goal was to renovate it, and I think they found that they didn't know that. You know, I'm not so sure that it is repairable at this point.
Because going there for my COVID test, I saw with my own eyes that they have everybody that works there.
Everybody.
And and that's what I'm hoping, like employment. If
just like the park, it's something you could walk to for many residents of the town that might not have the means to go to another medical facility.
Right.
So I'm
they're
thankful
professional.
they're there.
Right.
They are. That's my mom's life, and that's where I got my vaccine too. I mean, it was a resource that as a town official and just somebody that lives in the town, I appreciate it. So.
Okay. Now let me ask you, what do you think about all of the ugliness that goes on with politics? Does it affect you? Do people come at you?
So, it's not too bad for me. I even, am I happy people are running against us this year? In a way I am. am, because I'd like to see people that love their community get involved.
Right.
On a national level, or even in other other towns. It's disappointing that that has gotten so ugly. In my lifetime, this is the first time that I've seen it. It's ruined friendships. It's ruined families. It's it's tough. People are not accepting of other people's opinions, and it's a problem.
Right. Yeah, that's a problem.
But
and
again, like I said, we're very lucky in Fallsburg.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys have gone unopposed for a long time, and people may think I have been easier on you than the first, but my first conversation was different because it was my first conversation about this thing, and now I know a little bit more. I think it's good that no one should ever be so comfortable that they go unopposed, because it puts you on your toes. It makes you be like, okay, well, maybe I've been too comfortable. Maybe I should reach out to the people outside. So that's a really good thing. But like the ugliness of it all is baffling to me. It's
well, all of the, and this is kind of a rare thing too. The people that are running against us, on a personal level, they don't seem like nice people. I know Kathy, one of her daughters is the same age as one of my daughters, and I've always had a really, really good relationship with her. She's been a good friend. I don't know Sean, but I hear he's a very nice guy. The only criticism I'll say, and it's, I just wish they were more involved. They don't come to meetings, and when I got on the board, Neil Gilberg moved away. He left the board, and there was a vacancy, and I was initially appointed. But before I was appointed, I served on other commissions in the town, and I went to meetings. I just feel like, I've watched some of your shows with the other candidates, and they have great ideas, and I know the heart is in the right place, and they love the community like I love the community. A lot of their suggestions are things that the town just doesn't have control over. So I want a lot of things for the town too, but the town board only has the authority to make decisions in certain circumstances. We can't, so that's my only criticism, but they're nice people, and I wouldn't say anything personally bad. It's not like you see in national politics or state politics where there's a hatred and the people are looking to go after one another with such a ugly vengeance that it's despicable, honestly. So you don't have to always agree, and you don't always have to be happy, but you could have a level of respect and common decency.
Absolutely.
Win or lose. If I lose, I'm still going to want to be helpful in whatever ability I have to help the town. I still live there. It's my home. So,
and I was going to ask you that. That was a next question. But you answered it, because I was going to ask you, let's just say you didn't win. Would you still work with the people that won? Because I think as politicians or people that supposedly care about the town, you should come together and work together for the good, because we're a community, So take these ideas.
I would, yes. So I don't know that they would want my help, but if they asked me for it, I would certainly give it. I love the town. I truly love it. A lot of our classmates, a lot of the people in our school moved away. We chose to make it our home, and it's where my kids live. It's where I live. It's where my siblings live. It's where my mom lives. I would be a fool if I wouldn't want to see it become a better place, even if I wasn't in this position.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest. I had told my sons, and I tell a lot of the young people, because I'm like, there is nothing here for you. And it was probably my anger. Like, there's nothing here for you. When you graduate, leave. Don't come back. Don't look back. Don't. But you know what? That doesn't make. I did.
I can't say I've never felt that way. I can't say I've never felt that way, because sometimes you get frustrated, and I go to other places where some of our friends from high school live, like Andy lives in Auckland, Andy Krutman, one of my very good friends, and I go down there, and there's no question, the town is beautiful, the kids, the schools are incredible, but there's some beauty to where we live that you can't put in words that I still love,
Right.
and I don't want to live anywhere else. You go to, you go places, people know you, they know your history, they know your family. There's a factor, and besides the fact, we live in a beautiful area. I mean,
Right.
can we do more to make it more beautiful? Absolutely. But, you want to talk about the golf courses? They're incredible. You want to talk about the parks? How many towns have parks like we have? The rail trail that we're trying to expand, the outdoor lifestyle and the way of life we have, even though it's busy for 8 weeks of the year, the majority of the town, we live in a beautiful rural area that I don't want to leave. So,
but you know what?
every
In all
place has its
honesty, it's
negatives.
changing.
I'd rather.
It's not the same, because you're seeing all of these working for the county. I go everywhere, and I see all these housing developments, not for us, not low income housing, but I see all these housing developments, and I see all the trees being torn down, and you have all the animals going crazy because they don't know where to go. It's like,
So
that's a problem.
one thing that we tried to do. We had a moratorium on building. We stopped it. We saw it. We saw that our resources, our water and sewer, we were running out.
Wow.
We put a moratorium on building. We had a comprehensive plan committee. We said, where in the town can we still develop safely, and where in the town should we try to protect? So basically, and it's, we decided that around the hamlets, where we have water and sewer, where we have it left, we could allow a little, some dense development. From the outskirts of the town, we wanted to keep it rural. So much of the town now is 3-acre zoning, where you need 3 acres. So, it's not something that you could just snap your fingers and cure. And the area has changed. It was a very different place when we were kids. It was, we had a lot of hotels. We had a lot of, middle class families. A lot of the that we grew up with, they either had, jobs or businesses that supported the hotels, or they worked directly in hotels. Things changed. People stopped coming up to the Catskills like they did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They closed. People lost their jobs. Businesses closed. My own business has been a roller coaster. My biggest customer was the Concord and the Pines and all of these other hotels. And
they're
in
gone.
a matter of 5 years, when I got out of college and came back here to work, they started closing up. And it was a very tough thing to survive. And we survived, and the printing business, which is what I do, for my living, is also undergone some serious changes. People don't necessarily print. Everybody has a cell phone. You want to go to find a hotel, you want to find a service, you Google it. You don't look for a brochure. So that's one way I think I'm a little uniquely qualified. I had to figure out different ways to make a living within my own business. I had to be efficient. I had to, be very smart when it came to purchasing, and how do I buy the best products, and, and provide the best service, which, like I said, is very much like our town position. And I figured out a way to do it and still survive and still remain the place that I love. So, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
Okay.
Now
Now there's
a lot of my
a question.
employees have been,
No, go ahead about your points. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll do it after.
No,
go ahead.
I have a small business. I have 6 employees. One employee's been with me 40 years. Another employee's been with me 30 years. The newest employee I have has been with me like 12 or 13 years. My business is like a family. I truly respect my employees. I think they respect me. We work really well together. I do think I have the type of personality to foster that, because when you care about somebody and you're doing the same thing they do and you respect them, it creates an environment to be successful. I think that's what we do on a town level as well.
Okay. But there's a question, well, a bunch of comments, but it's all basically the same. And it's talking about the $1 million that is used for, you went out. I don't know if you could still hear me. For those that wasn't here in the beginning, like I said, Nate is driving. He's on the road. But if you can hear me, we're talking about the $1 million over $1 million for golf. Oh, we lost him. And for those that might say it was for convenience, it really wasn't. Nate he has something going on that I'm totally aware of, and I gave him the option to not be here, but I see he's trying to reconnect. But he decided to come on anyway and have this conversation. They will need to connect. Wait, I think I got him back. I'm not sure. No, I don't have him back. For anybody though that has any questions in the meantime, if you would like to throw any questions out there, I can make sure that he gets them. Well, thank you, Andrea. The goal is to, get the voices out there, find out what exactly is going on with people that are running for office, what's being done, what's not being done. This is my fourth interview with a politician. And now I kind of know where to go. I admit, I'm the first one to admit that I hadn't been going to meetings. So it was quick for me to say what wasn't being done. Whereas I can go to a meeting and cause a ruckus, here he is, and make my voice heard. I explained kind of, but not, I didn't go into it. What I was saying was there was a questions that they want to know, how is it that the golf course can get over millions and the kids don't even get like thousands? Like, could you explain how that gets figured out? I know golfing is, you explained the golfing to me before, but explain that, please.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You might have to connect your mic.
There, maybe.
He's
Well,
trying
I'm
to
trying to hold over. I'm trying to find a spot where it's a better reception. I have 4 bars, so
you might have to
hold on
connect your
1 second.
microphone. No, I can hear you. Adam. How about now? I can hear you.
If I went outside.
But you can't. Yep.
Is that any better?
Yeah, I heard you before. I heard you're frozen, but you're out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Did you hear my question? Oh, you went out again. You went. But look, y'all, he's dedicated. He's trying to finish this interview. So give him credit for that. I give credit for anybody that tries. He's actually is he out of the state? He's currently driving out of the state. I'm not sure. So, but they're on the road. And I think he came back. He's trying. He is trying. Wait. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Look, he can't hear me. Can you hear me? He's trying to find a corner. I hear him. Can you hear? Nate, I can hear you. He said he's trying to find a. Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear your wife. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. I heard you the whole time. Can you hear? I hear you. Oh, I feel really bad. But for those that
now I hear you again.
You hear me? I don't know if you heard that question, but whatever you don't hear. And I hear you. I see you're freezing up, but can say something. I don't know. Realizes that he realized we can hear him. Can you hear me? No, but
it's going in and out, but I have full service.
Okay, no, because I hear
like
you.
It's working.
Okay. Did you hear that question?
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay.
Okay.
I have the question quick. I could hear you.
Okay. someone asked, said our town budgeted over $1 million for golf and cut our kids in half. Like, what do you say about that?
I say that that is true. Our budget for the golf course is, around $1 million, but the golf course is, I think, the only part of our town that actually makes money. So we take in more than $1 million in revenue. So, and a lot of the money, that additional money, goes back into the parks program. So the golf, and besides providing an activity, it also attracts people that normally wouldn't come into our town to come play the golf courses. And then those people spend money in restaurants or other businesses in the town. So yes, it is a substantial amount of money that we spend, but we take in over $1 million in revenue. So it's a plus for the town, not an expense. Okay. Besides the fact that it employs a bunch of local people, so.
Now, are you guys looking forward to hopefully next year and COVID calms down some? Let's hope it calms down some. But the way it's looking, I don't know.
Right.
But let's say it calms down some. What possibly can be, is there any plans to do anything for, like, not even just the summer rec program, but even like a winter program, something for the kids, like something? Because these kids are going
certainly
crazy.
Would continue our I know. My own kids are, my two daughters are in college. I have three daughters. My one daughter is in school, and right now she's still on Zoom because we just don't. It's horrible. It's just a horrible way to be.
I can't imagine.
We're certainly going to start our camp program back. You can't hear me?
No. I said that's horrible. I hear you.
So we're certainly going to start our camp program again, and we have a youth commission. We have a youth commission now that is, looking to help other programs other youth programs in the town. And like I said, communication is key. So anybody has a suggestion or a program that we're willing to help. I mean, it's important to all of the current board members to do anything they can to make lives better because they live in the town.
And that's what it's about. It's about teamwork. If somebody out there has an idea, I mean, like, I don't know how to come up with plans, but I guess just an idea, bring it to the board. And then you can at least write it down and say, I brought this to them, and either they acted on it or they didn't. Otherwise, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I really can't complain if I didn't bring it to you guys. But I will keep a notebook and write down different things that may come to mind. I'm going to start attending those board meetings when I can get there, easily the Zoom ones, just to hear what's going on. It's just important to hear and have my own voice and not go by what somebody else is telling me. That's what I'm learning. And that's what's important about this election, right? Because believe it or not, we only got 7 more minutes. That's what's important about all of the elections, actually, across the board, because I see I see signs out there for somebody I'm not too keen on. She's not running for, she's running for a different position. But unless you get out there and have a voice, you really can't say anything. You can't go by, well, my friend said vote for so-and-so, and then you vote for them, and then they don't do what you expect them to do. They have to get out there, hear what you have to say, right? Do their background checks, research, find out what they did, what they didn't do, and make up your own mind. And that's what these conversations are about. So I talk to all you guys, come up with my own idea. I hope the people that viewed or go back and view the people that were on, get their own ideas, Can you hear me, Nate?
I can hear you, and I appreciate you, Bunky, and communication is the key.
It is.
We can only do a better job if we have communication, and we have our meeting tonight, we have Zoom, and we're all able to, even if you're not able to come to a meeting. Every one of my fellow board members are always, a phone call away for any questions or concerns, and, our goal always is to create a better life for our community. So
right.
We can only
Transparency.
do that with the help of the community.
Right. Transparency. If you don't like what's going on, knock the doors down. Keep complaining to them, right? Until you get heard. Like, that's my squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? Be a thorn in their side until things get done. But I walked away from this with a better idea, better understanding of how government, local government works. And if it wasn't for the presidential election, I'm telling you right now, I would not even be concerned about the local. But I realize it starts from the town. Right? He probably can't hear me.
I can hear you, but it's really.
Oh, and he left again. So you guys, yes, it starts with your local town elections. And just because you don't like what's there now, be careful of what you're putting in. That's with from presidential on down to councilman, down to what is it? The town clerks, all of these elected positions. Do your research. Do your research on them. Be careful who you're putting in, who you're reelecting in, but whoever you choose, make sure you're confident and happy, because you got to deal with that for the next couple of years until there's a next election. So I guess we're going to get ready to go. I'll let him know that we close out. You guys have a wonderful day. Nathan, you can find him on that town webpage. Go to the Town of Fallsburg webpage. I'm sure his email is up there and his phone number. If not, when I do my final thank you to everybody, I'll have their information up so you can email them and do whatever you need to do so that they can hear you. Like I say, knock the doors down. Not actually knock the doors down, but complain, or even, this may be something, even let them know the good things that they're doing that you like. Doesn't always have to be bad. I mean, sometimes we like hearing the positive things. And for the record, again, I am not a politician. I am never politically correct. All of these are just conversations so that I can get a better understanding. You can get a better understanding. It's not an endorsement because I don't endorse anybody. It's a conversation. And I did it for you guys and I did it for myself. So I'm getting ready to go. But here's Nathan. Nate, are you on? If he's on, I'm going to let him give his. Can you hear me, Nate? It don't look like he can hear me. I want to give him the closing words. Can you hear me? I can't.
I can hear you. Hello?
Okay, I want to give you the closing. Is there anything you have to say before November 2nd's election? No. Anything? Can you hear me? He froze again. I think he should have stayed in that one spot. Thank you, Stacy. Yeah, I totally forgot what I was about to say. I don't remember. But no, like I said, I appreciate him doing the show, giving us the time that he had. I appreciate you all for watching, viewing. Thank you to all my YouTube followers, to my Facebook followers. Like, share, subscribe, follow, watch over and over. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, I'm on TikTok. Yes, I am a TikToker. You can find me at Bunky Bunk. And it's just another outlet. I think it's kind of fun. It allows me to do something different, so follow me on TikTok. I'm at Bunky Bunk. I'll put that down there as well. You guys have a wonderful night. Wait a second. Wait a minute. The next show will be Thursday when I have Mr. Domingo Ramos from Hope Alive 845. He helps exploited adults, children, missing adults and children. That's really going to be a good show. Tune in. Hope Alive 845, Mr. Domingo Ramos. So you guys have a wonderful night. I appreciate you all. Remember, do your research on the candidates, decide for yourself. Whenever if somebody has something negative to say about the person they're running against, think about if you really want that person in position. Think about it. What is their motive? What is their reason for doing what they're doing or not doing? Ask yourself these questions. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.